The Zodiac Killer, a comprehensive analysis. Introduction. The Zodiac Killer remains one of the most infamous and mysterious serial killers in American history, operating in Northern California during the late 1960s and early 1970s. The Zodiac Killer is known for his cryptic letters and ciphers sent to newspapers, taunting law enforcement and the public. Despite extensive investigations, the killer's identity has never been conclusively determined. This deep dive aims to provide a detailed analysis of the Zodiac Killer's crimes, communications, suspects, and the ongoing efforts to solve the case. Crimes. Lake Herman Road, December 20, 1968. Victims: David Faraday 17 and Betty Lou Jensen 16. Location: isolated road in Benicia, California. Details: the couple was parked in a secluded area when they were attacked. David was shot in the head at close range, while Betty Lou attempted to flee but was shot 5 times in the back. Blue Rock Springs, July 4, 1969. Victims: Darlene Farron 22 and Michael Majo 19. Location: parking lot in Vallejo, California. Details: a car pulled up beside the couple's vehicle. The killer exited his car and shot them multiple times with a 9mm Luger. Darlene was pronounced dead on arrival, but Michael survived and provided a description of the attacker. Lake Berryessa, September 27, 1969. Victims: Brian Hartnell 20 and Cecilia Shepard 22. Location: isolated area near Napa, California. Details: the killer approached the couple wearing an executioner-style hood with a cross-circle symbol. He tied them up and then brutally stabbed them. Brian survived, but Cecilia succumbed to her injuries. Presidio Heights, October 11, 1969. Victim: Paul Stein 29. Location: San Francisco, California. Details: Paul, a taxi driver, was shot in the head by a passenger. The killer took Paul's wallet and keys, tore off a piece of his blood-stained shirt, and left the scene. Witnesses saw a man leaving the scene, and a police sketch was created based on their descriptions. Communication. Zodiac Killer's communications are a significant aspect of the case, comprising letters, postcards, and cryptograms sent to newspapers and law enforcement agencies. First letters. July 31, 1969. The killer sent 3 nearly identical letters to the Vallejo Times-Herald, the San Francisco Chronicle, and the San Francisco Examiner. Each letter contained 1/3 of a 408 symbol cryptogram, which he claimed would reveal his identity. The letters began with "This is the Zodiac speaking," marking the first use of his self-designated moniker. Deciphered cryptogram. High school teacher Donald Hardin and his wife Betty cracked the cipher. The message contained numerous misspellings and grammatical errors. It read, "I like killing people because it is so much fun. It is more fun than killing wild game in the forest because man is the most dangerous animal of all." Subsequent letters. The Zodiac continued to send letters, often taunting the police and threatening more violence. Some letters included pieces of Paul Stein's shirt as proof of his authenticity. The killer claimed responsibility for various crimes, some of which remain unconfirmed as his work. 340 character cipher. November 8, 1969, known as the Z340 cipher, it remained unsolved for over 50 years. In December 2020, an international team of code breakers finally cracked the cipher. The message did not reveal the killer's identity, but reiterated his love for killing. The bus bomb letter. November 9, 1969, the killer threatened to bomb a school bus. He included a detailed diagram of a bomb he claimed to have constructed. This letter heightened public fear and police urgency. The Melvin Belly letter. December 20, 1969, addressed to attorney Melvin Belly. The letter pleaded for help, indicating the killer was losing control and needed assistance to stop killing. Suspects. Over the years, numerous suspects have been considered, but none have been definitively proven to be the Zodiac Killer. Arthur Lee Allen. Allen was the primary suspect for many years. Evidence included his possession of Zodiac-related items and witness statements. Handwriting and DNA tests did not match the Zodiac's, leading to his exclusion. Rick Marshall, a projectionist and movie theater enthusiast, his lifestyle and habits drew suspicion. However, no conclusive evidence linked him to the murders. Lawrence Kane, identified by a few witnesses, including a survivor of one of the attacks. Kane had a history of violence and mental instability. His handwriting did not match the Zodiac's letters. Other suspects, various individuals, including Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber, and Bruce Davis, a Manson family member, have been proposed as suspects. None of these individuals have been conclusively linked to the Zodiac case. Modern investigations, statesman forensic science, and renewed interest in the case have led to ongoing investigations. DNA analysis efforts to extract DNA from the Zodiac's letters have been undertaken. Partial DNA profiles have been obtained, but they are not conclusive enough to identify a suspect. Digital analysis, modern technology has allowed for re-examination of the ciphers and letters. Computer algorithms and software have been used to attempt further decipherment and comparison. Crowdsourced efforts, amateur sleuths, and online communities continue to analyze evidence and propose new theories. The collective effort has kept the case in the public eye and occasionally uncovered new leads. Cultural impact. The Zodiac Killer has left a lasting mark on popular culture, inspiring numerous books, movies, and television shows. Books. Robert Graysmith's Zodiac 1986 is one of the most comprehensive accounts of the case. Numerous other books have explored various aspects and theories of the Zodiac's identity and motivations. Movies and TV shows. David Fincher's film Zodiac 2007 is a critically acclaimed portrayal of the investigation. Various documentaries and true crime series have featured the Zodiac Killer, exploring different facets of the case. Music and art. The Zodiac Killer has been referenced in songs, art, and other media, often symbolizing mystery and terror. Conclusion. The Zodiac Killer case remains one of the most perplexing and chilling unsolved mysteries in criminal history. Despite decades of investigation, the killer's identity remains elusive, and the true extent of his crimes may never be fully known. Advances in forensic science and the dedication of both professional and amateur investigators keep the hope alive that one day, the Zodiac Killer will be unmasked. Until then, the case continues to fascinate and horrify, a dark chapter in the annals of American crime. Introduction. Overview of the Zodiac Killer. Timeline of the crime's victims, investigation, and evidence, suspects over the years. The case against Richard Hoffman. Recent developments, cultural impact, theories and speculations, unsolved mysteries, and continuing investigation. Conclusion. Appendices, if necessary. 1. Introduction. Zodiac Killer is one of the most infamous and mysterious serial killers in American history. Operating in Northern California during the late 1960s and early 1970s, the Zodiac Killer claimed to have murdered at least 37 individuals, although only 7 confirmed victims are attributed to him. The case remains unsolved, making it a perpetual source of intrigue and speculation. This essay aims to provide a comprehensive overview of the Zodiac Killer case, including recent discoveries and the suspicions surrounding Richard Hoffman. 2. Overview of the Zodiac Killer. The Zodiac Killer first came to public attention with a series of chilling letters sent to various newspapers, boasting about his crimes and taunting law enforcement. These letters included cryptograms, some of which remain unsolved to this day. The killer's identity has eluded investigators for decades, leading to numerous theories and a wide array of suspects. 3. Timeline of the crime. The Zodiac Killer's confirmed timeline of activity spans from December 20, 1968, to October 11, 1969. However, he claimed to have started killing as early as 1963 and continued his spree beyond the known dates. Here is a detailed timeline of the confirmed attacks. 1. Lake Herman Road murders. December 20, 1968. The Zodiac's first known victims were high school students Betty Lou Jensen and David Faraday, who were shot and killed on Lake Herman Road in Benicia, California. 2. Blue Rock Springs attack. July 4, 1969. Darlene Ferrin and Michael Mageau were shot while sitting in a parked car at Blue Rock Springs Park in Vallejo. Ferrin died from her injuries, but Mageau survived and provided a description of the attacker. 3. Lake Berryessa attack. September 27, 1969. College students Brian Hartnell and Cecilia Shepard were brutally attacked while picnicking at Lake Berryessa. The Zodiac wore a hooded costume with a cross-circle symbol and stabbed both victims. Shepard died from her injuries, while Hartnell survived. 4. Puffinstein's murder. October 11, 1969. The Zodiac's final confirmed murder was the killing of cab driver Paul Stein in San Francisco. The killer took Stein's wallet and keys and tore off a piece of Stein's shirt, which he later sent to the police as proof of his involvement. 4. Victims. Known victims of the Zodiac Killer include Betty Lou Jensen 16 and David Faraday 17, Darlene Ferrin 22 and Michael Mageau 19, Brian Hartnell 20 and Cecilia Shepard 22, Paul Stein 29. The Zodiac also claimed responsibility for several other attacks and murders, although these claims have not been conclusively proven. 5. Investigation and evidence. The investigation into the Zodiac killer involved multiple law enforcement agencies, including the Vallejo Police Department, the San Francisco Police Department, and the California Department of Justice. Key pieces of evidence included the letters. The Zodiac sent a series of taunting letters to newspapers, often containing cryptograms. The most famous of these is the 408 symbol cipher, which was partially solved by a high school teacher and his wife. Fingerprints and DNA. Partial fingerprints and DNA samples were recovered from some of the Zodiac's letters, but these have not led to a definitive identification. Eyewitness accounts, survivors, and witnesses provided descriptions of the Zodiac, but these varied and were often inconsistent. 6. Suspects. Over the years, numerous individuals have been suspected of being the Zodiac killer. Some of the most notable suspects include Arthur Lee Allen, a convicted child molester who was heavily investigated by police. Although Allen matched many aspects of the Zodiac's profile, conclusive evidence was lacking. Richard Gajkowski, a journalist who exhibited suspicious behavior and had connections to the areas where the Zodiac operated. Lawrence Kane, a convicted felon whose physical appearance and background matched some aspects of the Zodiac's profile. Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber. Although there are some similarities between Kaczynski's activities and the Zodiac's, most experts consider the connection unlikely. 7. The case against Richard Hoffman. Richard Hoffman is a relatively new suspect in the Zodiac killer case. Hoffman, a resident of Vallejo, came under suspicion due to new evidence and advancements in DNA technology. Investigators have linked Hoffman to the Zodiac's letters and other key pieces of evidence. His background and proximity to the crime scenes have also contributed to the growing suspicion. 8. Recent developments in the Zodiac killer case have included new forensic analyses and the re-examination of old evidence. Advances in DNA technology have provided fresh leads, and investigative journalists and amateur sleuths continue to uncover new information. The suspicion surrounding Richard Hoffman is one of the most significant developments, offering hope that the case may finally be solved. 9. Cultural impact. The Zodiac killer has had a profound impact on popular culture, inspiring numerous books, movies, and documentaries. The killer's cryptic messages and the enduring mystery of his identity have captivated the public's imagination for decades. 10. Theories and speculations. Many theories and speculations surround the Zodiac killer case. Some believe that the killer was a highly intelligent individual with military training, while others think he was a deranged loner. Various conspiracy theories have also emerged, suggesting connections to other crimes and larger criminal organizations. 11. Unsolved mysteries and continuing investigation. The extensive investigation. Many mysteries remain unsolved. Key questions include the true identity of the Zodiac, the exact number of victims, and the meaning of the unsolved cryptograms. Law enforcement agencies continue to investigate, and the case remains open. 12. Conclusion. The Zodiac killer case is a complex and enduring mystery that has fascinated the world for over half a century. While recent developments have brought new hope, the identity of the Zodiac remains unknown. Continued advances in forensic science and persistent investigative efforts may one day bring closure to this notorious case.